I remember when I was growing up, how I had so much confidence in my daddy as I was growing up. I believed that anything my daddy said, he could do it. And anytime I asked him for anything, there was no doubt in my mind that daddy would come through. But then there was this one particular time when I wanted to play football this season and daddy hadn't showed up with the money. Because y'all do know that every now and then everybody's money gets funny. Can I get an amen from somebody? Daddy had not yet shown up with the money, and I was getting a little bit worried, and I started to doubt if daddy was going to show up. And it had got close to the deadline when it was time for us to go to Indian River Rec Center and pay the cost for me to be able to play football. How many of y'all know that I kept getting on the phone and trying to call daddy, but I couldn't get daddy to answer? Y'all gonna follow me in just a minute. But then out of nowhere, I started to begin to pray, and I said, God, you know how important this is to me that I play football at the rec. And so I continued to just wonder, where was daddy? And daddy still hadn't showed up. And so I kept on looking out the window, looking for daddy's car. I kept on looking out the window, wondering when he was going to turn the corner. And then y'all, out of nowhere, at the last minute, I believe I had 5 minutes to get from Sunrise Hills up to Indian River Rec Center. And daddy showed up into the crib and he said, come on, let's go. And I jumped in daddy's car and we drove over to the rec center and he paid my fees so I could play football. Right there, I need to tell somebody in here, many of us in here have begun to doubt God because God hasn't shown up for your situation right when you wanted him to. But I wish I had 1 or 2 folk in here that will declare God might not show up when you want him to, but he always shows up right on time. Is there anybody that knows that if God said he's going to bless you, God will show up and make a way out of no way? I wish I had 1 or 2 witnesses in here that will declare God will do what he said he will do. Watch this. In this text, y'all, we find that the disciples, y'all, have gotten to a place where they are alone now. Jesus has went through his cycle and he's done what he said he was coming to the earth to do. Now when you look at the text, y'all, we find that it was the women who went to the cross to see what happened with Jesus. And after he dies, it was the women who showed up at the tomb. If y'all follow me just for a minute, I'll get you out of here and we'll be able to go do some Easter egg hunting and some of us can go and cook some dinner. But watch this. The disciples, y'all, got to a place where they began to doubt Jesus because they had forgotten what he said back in Galilee. Can I talk to somebody on this side of the church? Many of us in here right now, we have come to church, y'all. We got on our Sunday's best. We look real good. But the reality of it, y'all, is we don't look the same on the inside that we do on the outside. How many of y'all know that we got it dressed up real good, but on the inside there's some doubt in us because it looks like everything is good on the outside, but if the truth be told, it ain't much to celebrate on home. Oh, I wish I had somebody that would declare, you came in here looking good, but you're doubting the God that you serve because your mess is jacked up at the crib. But is there anybody that will declare your stuff has been jacked up before? God has shown up and made a way out of nowhere. They began to doubt whether or not he was still God because the text said when they got to the tomb, it was empty. And here's the part that got me. The text said that they were puzzled. How is it that you are puzzled and you have been with Jesus for the last 3 years? How is it that you are confused about why the tomb is empty when you've been following Jesus and you've heard play-by-play